Hello and welcome. Welcome. We're back. We're live. It's day 19 of What's on Twitch on the Doctor Who The Day. A terrible name made by a terrible man. 19 days. It has been relentless. I have to admit, I've just been dipping in and out, picking and choosing, but that's the purpose of the video. Hello, Dammy Dodger in the chat. It's fun that you're immediately here. This is cracking. This is cracking. I didn't suspect that you'd be here, but you are. That's pretty fun. Anyway, we're going to talk about what's on the Twitch today. Well, you look at the schedule. Let's have a look. What have we got? We've got, well, it's the start of the 6th Doctor stuff, and you can't really escape the 6th Doctor. It is what it is. You've got the Twin Dilemma, 4 episodes. Attack of the Cybermen, 4 episodes. Vengeance on Varos, 4 episodes. Mark of the Rani, 4 episodes. And the 2 Doctors, 6 episodes. And I know that sentence structure probably made you think that was the last one, but we also have Time Lash, 4 episodes. You've got, oh my word, you've got all of his first season there. Yeah, because he only has 2 seasons. He only has one very mixed season, and then Trial of a Time Lord, which is on all day tomorrow, which is a hell of a vibe. Where's YouTube? There it is. Notification Squad. Hello everyone. Thanks for being in the chat. I'll give you a wave. This is great. We've already got viewers. Like, we've already beaten, targets for the day. We can just go home. I'll arrange it like that to be professional. But the Twin Dilemma I saw for the first time last year on Twitch, which for most of the 6th Doctor episodes, actually, I saw for the first time last year on Twitch, which is what we're going to get put on a t-shirt. It's a very bad first episode, and you don't need me here to say that. That's enshrined in fandom lore at this point. It's just, it's pretty poor, honestly. It's just pretty poor. The child actors, or the teen actors they had playing the twins, the titular twins, pretty bad. The plot, pretty bad. It involves a bug man, wanting to get his eggs about the place. It's not great. It suffers horrendously for coming after big caves of Anzurzani, which, universally loved, and Twin Dilemma, universally despised. I mean, it's still like classic Who, so you're still having a good time, and it is. I wouldn't say it's so bad it's good, but it's so bad it needs to be seen. I would say definitely. I didn't regret my experience watching it last year. Time Lash, when we get to it, is kind of the same, but even more so. So I suppose if you were going to pick and choose, I would say wait till we talk about Time Lash, because it's bad in similar ways, but in an even more inexplicable sense. And then I think with 6, I think it was a brave decision to make him terrible. I wonder how much of that is just historical rewriting, that they were like, oh yeah, we decided to make him bad, and then we're going to mellow him out, but then we never got the chance. Is that accurate, or did they just it was the 80s and they made a terrible, angry, maniac Doctor? The first thing he does is attempt to strangle Peri, he calls her an imposter, and then tries to murder her. And that would be fine, I guess. I'm not advocating the strangling of Peri, but if it was done well, you could probably say they had a point, or they had some artistic merit, or it could have went somewhere, but it just comes out of nowhere, and it's the opposite of what you want to be doing with your new character. You want them to be likable, and with the new Doctor, you kind of want them to be likable instantly, because people just don't have a good time. People are oh no, I don't like this, so I'm just going to continue not liking this, and I'm just not going to watch. Which is unfortunately kind of what happened, and it led to that hiatus. So I kind of praise them for being no, we'll try something different with this Doctor, but nothing about their creative decisions was good and went well. You could have made those bad decisions and had it got have a good reaction from it, but no, everything was against them. Maybe if they didn't give him that costume, that multicolored neon nightmare, which I have to admit has grown on me in the last 30 years, but you know, maybe don't make all of the bad decisions at once. Maybe have like an arrogant doctor, or maybe have like an unlikable doctor, or maybe have like a doctor that wears that nightmare. But don't mush them all together immediately after. Like, because like Perry's only been there for 3 episodes, so you've got a show where you don't really know the companion, and you're going into a new doctor, and he's just not great. And I say that as a fan of Colin Baker. Like, I like quite a lot of his episodes in this season. I think he does good work, and I think he's done good work with the character since, because Big Finish came and like, yo, we're just gonna save the character. So I'm definitely not like Colin Baker was the worst Doctor, because like we're past that. Like that was a thing for ages, but like there's so much content available that isn't specifically those episodes that they made in the 80s, that saying that he's the worst Doctor or anyone's the worst Doctor doesn't really hold any water anymore. But yeah, the Twin Dilemma is bad. It's bad. I enjoyed watching it, but goodness, the I don't even know what they were, but like the henchmen, potentially the worst henchmen I've seen in Doctor Who, just solely off their design. It was kind of like a butterfly, a werewolfy butterfly type creature. Did very late 80s, very poor costuming coming off the back of Big Budget and Rosani. So after Twin Dilemma, it's Attack of the Cybermen. And we had a wee pointer. I was asking for feedback on the stream, and James was saying more props. So I went and got the DVD for Attack of the Cybermen, which we bought for £2 out of a charity shop, which I think was a very good price. Attack of the Cybermen is about Cybermen and the attack. And it's one of those episodes that was criticised at the time for being horrendously violent. And kind of is, especially for like a tea time kind of thing. Like for a pre-Watershed semi-kids drama, it's pretty out there. There's a lot of horribleness. A lot of the horribleness isn't just in like the violence, but kind of the presentation and the tone of the universe. Like a lot of like 80s Who is quite spectacularly, needlessly grim, and gets on for being a wee bit grimdark in places. I talked about this last episode, but it's quite adolescent, and it's right, and it's very like edgy, and you probably would have called it kind of edgelordy kind of stuff if that was a term at the time that was bandied about. Attack of the Cybermen. Twitch is saying it's 4 episodes. It is 2. Twitch, I should have said, is showing the American formats, so there's weird cuts. So you'll get like an extra couple cliffhangers that don't feel like cliffhangers. And if you're watching it in that format and you feel that way, that's why. This is when they were doing like 2-parter episodes. It was like kind of, was it 45 minutes each? Probably to sell to the American market, to like compete with bloody Star Trek, if it had started by that point. I don't know when. I can't even remember when Next Generation started, but American format, like, so usually like an hour-long episode, but it is 45 minutes with loads of breaks. So I suspect that's why they did that. It kind of works. I kind of like the pace. And Attack of the Cybermen is like a game of 2 halves, you would say, if you're a sports person. They have can't hear you thinking about yogurt a lot. Yeah, yogurt's great. I don't think they have any yogurt in this, but there is a lot of ice, because they go to an ice planet called Telos. So you could probably get some ice cream, but it would probably taste a lot like a cold quarry. Great quarry work. This is like peak quarry work, I want to say. This is like artistic quarry work, because it's like a quarry, but they put a blue filter over it because it's an ice world, you see. And then there's a lot of horrible suffering that goes on in the quarry. But yes, it's a game of 2 halves, because the first half is like an episode of The Sweeney or Minder, which instantly gets points from me, because if you make me remember any sort of ITV4 detective thing, I'm instantly going to like it a lot more if it wasn't that. The first half is like that. There's a lot of like crimes and crime, and like police infiltrating crime gangs and cutting about beneath the sewers of London and stuff. And Lytton from Resurrection of the Daleks comes back, which we talked about yesterday. And he's like a gang, and he like convinces them that they're going to rob a bank, but it's actually just like a cover for him making contact with the Cybermen, and then that doesn't go well at all. And then it turns out at the end he was a good guy, even though he was horrendous in the last episode and kind of horrendous in these episodes. And the Doctor's like, "Oh, I was wrong to judge him. He murdered like civilians for no reason, and he was like a war dog for the Daleks." It's a weird tonal thing. Like, it's a genuine weird, like, sad, Doctor Who? Why is he sad for Lytton, of all people? I know he has a somewhat honourable death, kind of ish, but it's not like he was, you know, a good. Like, why was he? Oh, Lytton. Lytton's a weird guy. But yes, the second half is set on Telos, the ice planet, which is like an ice planet that the Cybermen have jacked because they need ice tombs to survive, and it's a weird, like, lore conflicty thing, and there's a lot of kind of odd fan service going on in this episode, and not like the kind of just like fan service that you'd expect from kind of lore references, but it's specifically all about the 10th planet and like how Mondas was destroyed, so the Cybermen need to go to Telos, and like it's all like kind of lore, like it's a version of fan service that you would only get in the 80s because the types of my phone just went. The types of media available. There wasn't videos. I don't know by this point if there was videos, but there wasn't videos to just constantly refer back to. So I imagine they just pulled stuff from novelizations and BBC tapes, and so it isn't quite what you'd want. So it's kind of a weird level of fan service. I'm just gonna like check my phone in case there's a fire. Is there a fire? There might be a fire. No, it's not a fire. It's just me mum. It's just me mum. I'll phone her in a sec, I promise. I'm good. So it's a weird level of lore. It's a genuine weird level of lore that I would probably sit there on the side of saying is kind of bad, but it's neat to see, and I'd probably like to think a lot more about that and maybe do a wee piece on that, because you don't get that, because like all fan service these days, like Ready Player One or whatever, it's just like, look at the things, look at the Funko Pops you can buy. But in Attack of the Cybermen, it's weird, like, remember how Mondas was destroyed? That means the Cybermen have to do this. Remember how Cybermen are all about ice tombs because of that one episode that we love and haven't recovered yet. You know, it's a specific kind of a thing. And also, there's these terrible aliens that have got bubble wrap on them. I can't remember what they're called. What are they called? Lurking in the sewers, devastating attack. I feel like they're called like Sensi baby, something like that. Apparently they're all like 80s celebrities, like from Blue Peter and kids shows and pops. Like, you would never tell because they're just like wrapped in bubble wrap, and they're like supposed to talk like this. It's really, it's not great. It's a look, I'll give you. It's like it's a definite look. And they've got like big lenses over their eyes in the mask, so they've just got these big, weird anime eyes. It's honestly a wee bit disconcerting combined with their voice and their tendency to like feel about. And one of them gets a great scene where, because they're not like, they can't go into like, you know, positive temperatures or they'll just die. So they're kind of holed up in their ice tombs, and they're like a group of. I wish it was done better, because they're like a group of kind of like ice princesses that are also like doing this rebellion. Like, it's like if the Star Wars rebellion folk, if the rebellion was run by ice princesses with weird bubble wrap. And that's kind of cool. It's not portrayed quite well, but there's like a leader of them that is just like, no, Doctor, you go on. I'll stay here and blow up the Cybermen with myself included, because I'm hard like that. And I've always liked that scene. I remember seeing it on an ad on a VHS it was on an Only Fools and Horses tape back in the day, and I always thought it was quite cool. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool in context, but weird guys. I can't remember what they're called though. I should have looked that up. But yeah, props to this story. It's probably going to be my pick of the day, because it's pretty grim. It's pretty grim as the Sixth Doctor's era. Well, that said, I mean, bangers, because you're going from Attack of the Cybermen straight into Vengeance on Varos. And Vengeance on Varos is amazing. The best episode that I saw of Doctor Who last year for the first time on Twitch was Vengeance on Varos. I was not ready for how amazing Vengeance on Varos was. Vengeance on Varos is like cracking stuff. It's like deeply out of nowhere, because you hear how bad the Sixth Doctor's era is, and no one gives it credit. But then you're sitting there, and then Vengeance on bloody Varos rocks up, It's so good. It's like a prison planet, or it used to like the planet they rock up to used to be a prison planet, but now it's like devolved into this weird democracy thing where they torture people. Their economy is like there's like an economy thing going on, but they do a sideline or like a really good sideline in selling torture tapes because they're like a prison planet. So they've got a rebellion going on, and they torture the rebellion people, and then they film it, and they just export those tapes, as they call them, because it's the 80s, to the galaxy, and they're making good money on that. And it's like a whole kind of Doctor Who's commentary on the video nasty era, and it doesn't work. Like it doesn't work in the way that it was probably set out to, because it's saying, look at how horrible TV's become, look at the sheer levels of violence, but also this is the era that's known in Doctor Who for being outrageously violent. So it's kind of having its cake and eating it, so it undermines its own message a wee bit. Like, I know we can have a debate on that for ages, but in my opinion, it kind of undermines its own debate just a touch for where it's like if it had come. See if it was it feels like a McCoy story. Honestly, it feels like a later or mid to late point Seventh Doctor story. It does not feel at all, in kind of the kind of nastiness, I suppose it feels like a Sixth Doctor story, but in the way that it has a point and themes and a message that it wants to convey, it feels an awful lot like a Seventh Doctor story. So yeah, and like there's a whole democracy thing where like it's Big Brother because everybody's watching the TV all the time, and that's how like people are kept in line and stuff. And then there's these two like a C3PO R2D2 Shakespearean commentary duo that aren't involved with the plot at all. They're just like watching it on the screen, and they get to vote on things. And like the leader of the base, the leader of the world, the director, he gets to make a decision and then put it to a vote. And then if he loses the vote, he has to take like sit in a pain chair. And then if he can tank it, he gets to live and do what he wants. But if he doesn't tank it, he dies. I like the idea of like, if you can tank the thing, you can do, like, if you can take that level of pain, you just put what policy you want through, lad. You've earned that. It's a weird system, and like it fits perfectly with the tone of the episode. And like they're always disappointed that he just doesn't horribly die. And again, he's like pro selling the torture tapes. He's like, he tells the slug guy, I forget, is it Sliff or something? He's a recurring Sixth Doctor guy, but he tells the slug thing how they've got that sideline in Video Nasties, and like he comes off worse than the slug guy in that scene, but he's also one of the good guys for the episode. It's totally all over the place, but in a great mid-80s talking about things way. There's a fantastic cliffhanger that I'm going to spoil now, where it's the Doctor seemingly dies, and like it's part of the Video Nasty, and the guy's like, and cut, and it like cuts to the credits. It's as close to meta as Classic Who comes, I want to say, barring some exception that doesn't come to mind. But it's weirdly really good. The Doctor gets accused by fans, by viewers, of pushing a guy into an acid bath at one point, and he kind of does. I know he's kind of defending himself, and the other guy, he gets pulled in, pushed. Who did it? You know, it doesn't really matter, because for all intents and purposes, Doctor Who depicted someone falling into an acid bath. It is horrible. Like it's genuinely pretty bad. But I was just struck by it. It was a breath of fresh air, to be honest, that I didn't expect. And like I say, was probably the best episode that I hadn't seen before that Twitch showed me. So again, I was going to say Attack of the Cybermen would be pick of the day, but it's got stiff competition from Vengeance. Mark of the Rani is the one that introduces the Rani, and I'll put my feet. I'll put my feet down. I'll plant my flag on the hill that I'm about to die on. Knew who should do the Rani, right? Back in my day, back in 2008, there was always like rumors, like who's the next villain going to be? It probably started after that female hand picked up the Master's ring from Last of the Time Lords, and it was like, I can't even remember if there was an evil laugh or if that was just in Flash Gordon. But like from that point on, I want to say there was always rumors that the next big bad, the next villain of the show, or even the next one of the next episodes would feature the return of the Rani. And the meme at the time of like, oh, X is the Rani, Donna is the Rani, stuff like that. They should bring back the Rani. I don't think, I'm going to lay it out here, I don't think the Rani's a good character. I don't think the Rani's it's a weirdly not memorable character, to be honest. She's just the female master, and they've already done that with Missy. Like, Missy could have been the Rani. Like, I really enjoyed that when Missy was on, because I was like, what if Missy's the Rani? What if this is the time? What if we're there actually doing the Rani? But no, they didn't do that. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it would mean a whole lot. I don't think it would get them viewers. I don't think there's any positives for New Who to ever do the Rani again. But good Lord, they should do the Rani. Just do a Rani episode, and then we can have that New Who Rani episode, and we can move on with our lives. I mean, maybe I don't want that to happen. Maybe I always want there to be a possibility that the Rani's coming back this year. Like, season 12, guys. Like, what if the 13th Doctor was the Rani? Like, how amazing would that? That would be terrible. That would be one of the worst things they could do. But it'd be something to talk about, which is more than you can say for most of season 13 or whatever it was. Season 11, Doc 13, season 11. I don't have much to say about our first episode. I just remember there being a farm. Is this the one where the Master gets wee? I know there's one where the Master gets wee. It's either this one or Planet of Fire. There's good. Like, you can do Master cuts a bit with the Rani stuff. I thought that was all right in it, but it's a weird time to introduce like a new female Time Lord villain. Like, there should be more of that. There should be more of that in New Who. There should be more of that in Classic Who. The Rani, though. Just day the Rani. That's what I have to say for this episode. Hashtag day the Rani. Day the Rani. Do people use hashtags anymore? I'm from 2013. So did they even use it then? Who knows? The Two Doctors is odd. It's an odd episode. It's not what you want. There's some greatness in there. There's some genuine greatness. It mostly comes from the fact that Troughton's a big lad and just didn't apparently give up being a big lad. And Fraser, big Jamie. Jamie's a great guy. Jamie, the Doctor, like, best TARDIS team. Like, they are double riders. They're good guys. I love them. They are the best parts of the Two Doctors. It's just, it's a multi-Doctor story, and the Doctors only meet up for like 10 minutes. And like, there's just an extended sequence of the second Doctor and this ginger cannibal man going about, was it a Spanish tune? I can't remember what it was filmed, but they were going about a tune, getting food, and he's like being gene altered to have big bushy ginger brows. And it's odd. Like, everything about it is odd and not what you want. I'm hesitating to say it's bad. I have had a good time watching it. The Sontarans are in it. I always forget that they're there. Like, I forget that it introduces there's a concept. Is it season 4B? I believe is the concept, or 4A, because there's no way, because this is happening after the Doctor. I don't know if this is the case, but you know how the Doctor gets executed. Doc 2 is executed by the Time Lords and forcibly regenerated. And like, the extra books, the expanded universe stuff goes into it, and there's like a CIA, a celestial intervention agency that plucks him, like a Time Lord organization that plucks him out of the time stream, and he goes on adventures for them. So I feel like that's how they justify all of the weirdness, because like Jamie's older and stuff. I know he's probably trying to play younger, but he's older and stuff like that. Like, that's probably more interesting than the episode itself. I always just get disappointed by the Two Doctors. It's just got a lot of stuff that you don't want. It's kind of, it's very like the Sixth Doctor's era, that has like just kind of awkward 80s, just, I can't vocalize really, just the kind of, it's just not what you want. It's just not what you want from a multi-Doctor episode. You want it to be you want a lot of cross-Doctor interaction. You want them teaming up. You want them fighting against each other, bickering. You want stuff where the two leads intersect and do fun things. And the Two Doctors doesn't really have any of that, which I find disappointing at best. That said, I believe the Sontarans die quite spectacularly. I believe they bleed green blood. So if you're into that, watch out for it. And then Time Lash. Time Lash is probably another one of those. I know for a fact it's one of those ones that's held up as genuinely one of the worst episodes of Doctor Who. One of the worst episodes of Classic Who. I just had a spectacular time watching it last year because I couldn't really believe what I was seeing. I gave up, to be honest. I gave up pretty quick. There's like a robot guy that has like blonde hair and like a rhinestony blue crackly kind of black face. It could be construed as offensive. And he's a pretty bad mid to late 80s character design. And then he had this like hysterical voice. It was like a beep beep computer voice, but it was like high pitched. It was like computer, like that kind of thing. But it was coming out of this giant man with bright blonde hair and like walking. It looked like a parody of Classic Who, which you can do well. You can get away with. I'm a big fan of the Candyman, which we'll talk about tomorrow or the next day or whenever it's on. Basically, Time Lash. It has what's his face, the guy from like 7 These are the things I know about Time Lash. I could not watch that guy, that like robot or whatever he was meant to be. I just couldn't get past it. And usually I'm like, oh, come on, guy. See, when someone says like, oh, can you get past the thing? I'm like, aye, get past the thing though. Like, there's good stuff, and like, there's not good stuff. There's no good stuff to get. There's nothing to get past to get to the good stuff that you could watch because there isn't there. It's just bad. I will try tonight and watch Time Lash because, give everything a fair shake. But I fear I just couldn't. I literally couldn't get past it. It was a poor time. I'm sure you like get friends around and watch it together and have a laugh, but other than that, it was pretty poor. So we'll do our picks of the day. What is our pick of the day? We've got Twin Dilemma, which is out, obviously. We've got Attack of the Cybermen, which is in. Vengeance on Varos, which is in. Mark of the Rani, which is out. The Two Doctors, which maybe, and Time Lash, which is out. It's really between Attack of the Cybermen and Vengeance on Varos. It's quite a hard one because one I was really, really entertained and impressed by last year for the first time, and I've seen the other one. I've seen lots. I've seen Attack of the Cybermen quite a lot. I saw it when it was on UK Gold for like Doctor Who at 40, I want to say. That was my first experience with it. And then I've seen the DVD dozens of times, and then other places as well. So it's kind of hard. I'm just rolling back on the wee rolly chair. I'll give it to Varos. Varos, if you've not seen Vengeance in Varos, I would implore you to seek it out and maybe make a night of it with Attack of the Cyberman and Vengeance as a doubleheader. They're together. Easy watch. 4 episodes. Just go, 8? 4/8 episodes. Go enjoy them. They are the peak, I would say, of the Sixth Doctor's era. They are highlights. One of them, Vengeance Varos, pretty hidden gem. I feel like people don't get past the Slugman, but get past the Slugman. It's good. It's genuinely good. There's a lot it's at least trying to say, which is more than you can say for a lot of bad episodes of Doctor Who. And my pick of the night on the one, like my creature of the night. What is my creature of the night going to be? That bug guy from Twin Dilemma. I feel like he's the bug guy. Again, I would say Cybermen. Because you've got Sontarans, you've got like weird hippo people. You've got whatever was going on in Mark of the Rani. I suppose I could say the Rani / the Master, but Cybermen. Let's give it to the Cybermen, but like specifically the Cyber Controller. Where is he? Yeah, the Cyber Controller. The 80s redesign of the Cyber Controller. They remembered they had a big like dumb egg head, and they worked it together. He's quite a thick boy. Is the Cyber Controller? He's got big legs, and I love them. he's quite scary as well, because like I say, this was the era for violence, and he crushes Litton's hand, and he goes, and then there's like ketchup that like drops out of it. Pretty scary stuff. Pretty scary stuff. I think you'll agree. But yeah, we are drawing to an end quite rapidly. How many days is it? 2 days after this. Yeah, tomorrow is all Trial of a Time Lord, and then half of bloody 7. You've got a season basically there. You've got 2 seasons, and then it finishes on the 25th. So we're getting there. Join us tomorrow, and we'll just banter about what I remember of Trial of a Time Lord and how excited I would be to watch it all in a oneer, which I do have the time to do, so I might. And how good 7 is, because 7 is good. I like 6 as well. Like, I probably should talk about, like, we've only got 2 days to talk about 6. I think 6 is cool. I have grown attached to that terrible quote of his. Big Finish saved the character. If you actively hate 6 and are one of those people that are still like, no, 6 is just the worst, and you haven't, because like, I don't know how you would be one of those people and haven't kind of come across Big Finish or haven't been implored to go and listen to Big Finish's work. Sylvester McCoy, bloody Colin Baker has done incredible work over there. He's had hella stories, and Big Finish basically saved that character. So go listen to them. They're good. A lot of them are free on Spotify. That's my public service announcement for the day. I'll wrap it up. Not as long as last night, because we had 2 kind of missing episodes to talk about last night that I quite like. But yes, like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps. It's the best clicker in the world. You get to see those numbers go up, and it makes me happy. We have a Patreon now as well. Craig's Girthy Toys over on Patreon. Go give us money so we can like talk about things more. Potentially buy Doctor Who DVDs and then do big things. Yeah, big things. Big things. That's a good. I don't even know what that is, but it's a good. I think that's everything. Oh yes, I should thank Mad Hatter Mike for being our patron. He picked one of the tiers that gets me saying thanks, Mad Hatter Mike. You're doing the Lord's work. We're not religious in any way, but I like that phrase. Oh dear. I'm going to end the stream because I'm just waffling. Bye, everybody.